myths about addiction, and I want you to put some light on that. First is that addiction is nothing but just a weak willpower.
So the reality is addiction is a disease, it's a chronic disease. It's not only the person who suffers, even the family suffers. Having said that, there is willpower, but weak or strong doesn't matter here. There is willpower to drink or to use. Hence, the other matters of your life take a setback. There is a complete ignorance, giving up on a good life, healthy living. You choose something which is unhealthy. So willpower is towards using more and more, drinking more and more. And to put it so slyly as it's a result of weak willpower is not giving importance to how much the disease can damage a person, his personality, his or her approach to things, and his own way of thinking. Everything goes short. So willpower has got nothing to do with it, and it is purely should be looked at as a chronic ailment, a disease which needs continuous help and support, because once an addict, always an addict. So even if you're clean and sober, you need to meet your counselors, you need to work on yourself continuously, improvise, update. And hence I call our community where addiction and the family issues are there, that we are always a work in progress. We have to keep improvising and getting better so that we remain clean from our substance.
So there's another myth that relapse is a failure.
You mean relapse means failure?
Yeah.
No, relapse is a setback in a person who's trying to heal himself out of alcohol or substance. Slips can turn into relapse, but suppose we give them the training that you don't have to slip, to understand how good alcohol was with you or bad it has been in your life. Please don't test yourself. So a slip or a relapse should not be tested. But if by any stroke of bad luck, triggers, or any shortcoming in the training of remaining clean and sober, you do slip and a slip turns into a relapse, kindly get up. It's like a fall, okay? So even if you fall 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, get up 8 times. Keep coming out of it, keep asking for help. It is a myth that relapse is a failure, but I will say the truth is that it is part of recovery. If a person feels that I have slipped so many times, relapsed so many times, I don't deserve the good part of life, I don't know how to lead a clean life, sorry. You can keep trying. It is a troublesome problem. It is a disease which affects you, and triggers are all around you. We say sharks are waiting for you for making that mistake. But can you make yourself, train yourself and reach that level where you don't have to fall for a slip and relapse? It is avoidable. Don't become relapse prone or slip prone. If you've got your education or training from great counselors and mentors, kindly just look forward to a great life of sobriety.
So how do you tell the difference between just a bad habit and addiction?
See, your question itself has the answer, bad habit and addiction. So bad habit, or you're habituated to your substance, can lead to addiction. Bad habit can be controlled and does not cause as many problems as addiction causes. Your life gets disrupted, your family is not happy, the joy is missing out of your family. On that, the addict goes through withdrawals, cravings, and his own life personally also is disrupted. It's not the people around him, the workspace, finances, physical health, everything takes a beat. So that's addiction simply put.
So when should a person start seeking for help?
When you get signs that people around you are informing you, what did you do the previous night, or the party that went by just a little while ago, or they're trying to keep away from you. Family also tries to guide you, help you, but at the same time they want to keep quiet. And people do hint that check a counselor, meet a therapist. They can't straight on go and tell you go to a rehab, but they ask you to do all these things. Your personal health, body, physical health, your finances, your workspace, as well as your emotional issues around your family or your relationships. And that takes a beat. I think it's a big red flag that you need to take help. So kindly take the first step and go ask for help.
How does addiction affect the brain?
You are taking a substance, you're ingesting it, you're using it, abusing it. Naturally, the brain will go through changes. The brain chemistry or the system through which the nervous system works suffers hell of a lot. And basically, what happens, the craving and the dependency on substance is so high that you become manipulative by nature, and those are the signs that your brain is supporting you in your addiction, although it is also going through its own hell by itself. So, there is a lot of trauma, there's a lot of pressure the brain goes through, and it does get trouble you at the end of it.
So can it get better during the treatment?
Once you do the treatment and you follow through at that you remain sober and clean, brain definitely heals. It's the time that we provide for it to develop healthy habits. And once the healthy habits are developed and you keep yourself away from your substance of choice, definitely you are going to have a healthy brain vis-a-vis an alcoholic brain or an addictive brain.
Any message that you want to give to someone who's suffering from addiction and he thinks he can't get out of the addiction?
So the first step is asking help. But if the person has done it a couple of times and thinks he or she cannot overcome addiction, then we remind them that recovery is possible with the right step. Maybe you have to take more than the other people. So don't give up. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I have seen recovery, it's miraculous. People are leading great lives, great sober and clean lives, happier lives. And most of them get tired and sick of dependence. Every morning when you wake up with remorse and guilt, it's not joy. It used to be joy at one time and now it's pain. So the pleasure has turned into pain. Since that has happened, you need to take that step. If one step is not enough, take more steps. So recovery is possible. Secondly, focus on small steps. Every effort that a person makes or a family makes counts. Don't just give up. So if you focus on smaller steps and not look at that I could not become sober even after 4 months of therapy or 6 months of therapy, maybe the counselor is not good enough, the mentor is not good enough, all that doesn't matter. Just keep trying, focus a little more and go ahead and lead that life. And the third point would be never ever hesitate to ask for more help or support. We need it. We as addicts or alcoholics or families of these people need help probably 24/7, 365 days or many more. People are available for you. Just put your hand forward and ask for it.